Eddie Edwards, welcome to What Culture Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel.
Thank you.
How excited are you to be here right now?
I can't even express how excited I am. I'm just cloud nine. Cloud nine.
How many years have you waited for this opportunity to come on this specific YouTube channel?
What? I mean, when did it start?
A few years ago.
Yeah, I've been waiting a few years now. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Well, thanks for being here.
I was gonna say 33 years, but
You should have said it. You should have said your whole life. You were
All right,
born.
Rewind. All right, 33 years I've been waiting for this.
So you were born, and you were like, one day I've got to get on What Culture Pro Wrestling
I
YouTube.
sensed it. It's like my calling in life.
Yeah.
I've been following that.
Well, I'm honoured that you're. I'm honoured. I feel a bit like taken aback now with all of this.
Thank you.
That's cool. Anyway, the reason you're here today, and we'll start here, is obviously TNA have recently launched an app in the UK where, obviously, among many things, you can actually watch Impact. Now, previous to this, you were on Challenge TV.
Yeah.
So it's a big shift in both what wrestling fans expect, or how wrestling fans expect to watch the sort of big show that a promotion does. But it's also, in many ways, like embracing the future. How do you feel about it all?
I think it's pretty cool. You know, obviously, like you said, it is a big change from it being, right on your TV to having them download the app and everything. But for what you get out of the app, considering you can start streaming it as soon as it airs in America, which I think is a pretty cool thing because you basically get to see it at the same time, where you don't have to wait anymore. You know what I mean? And the bonus that you get is you get all the old shows, you get old pay-per-views, old matches and stuff. Like the fact that people talk about certain matches, you know what I mean? Like some of the greatest matches ever. Oh, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe. All right, you go find it and watch that match. You know what I mean? Like I think that's pretty cool. You can follow like the Wolves, me and Davey's career. Like when we showed up, you can watch all those shows and stuff, and I think that's a pretty cool aspect to it. Aside from being able to stream it as soon as it airs,
Well, it's true because that's kind of the big selling point, is that you've embraced what a lot of these subscription services are doing. You have the back catalogue, which is worth its weight in gold.
Exactly.
But then what you guys are doing is that no, but you can watch the current stuff. And when you look at surveys and things like that for other apps like that, people are like, why can't I watch this and why can't I watch that? But you guys, it's like, no, you can do it. In that way, you're ahead of the curve.
We are ahead of the curve. I think that if people I think once they check it out, they're gonna be hooked. Like, oh, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it works.
And do you think that it will help TNA continue to grow as well? The fact that there is no real barrier to entry anymore because everyone's got a smartphone, or most people do.
Yeah.
So all you need is that as an internet connection, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, it's embracing the future, basically. Like, this is where you're at. Like, everybody has apps on their phones and like tablets, whatever. Like, it's a step in the right direction, and more people can have it walking around in their pocket. You know, they can be watching it then instead of having to be at home looking at the TV. You know what I mean?
And I'm guessing as well you've been a lifelong wrestling fan, because that's the thing that freaks me out in modern day wrestling. I remember, especially being in the UK, where you got to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and if you miss it, you have to wait for the repeat or record it on a VHS.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I watch it whenever I want.
It's insane. Well, like, even like when first YouTube came out, you could watch these matches. Like, oh my god, this is awesome! Like, I'm never leaving my house. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, we have to get VHS, have them mailed to you too. Like, order the tapes and everything. So, yeah, I hope you people are grateful for what you have these days, because it wasn't always like this.
I tell you right, they're not. They're not grateful. They don't understand.
I can tell you.
They're watching this on YouTube. Yeah. They have no idea about.
What's a VHS?
Exactly. Don't look it up. Google it. Yeah. But the other thing about VHS was it had that function where you could get double the recording time out of it, but it would lower the quality. That's how I watched wrestling as a kid.
Well, you went quantity over quality.
Well, I didn't have that many videotapes.
Yeah, you gotta take advantage. I like that. I appreciate the effort there.
Whereas now, I just push a button and there it is in HD. It blows my mind. We'll move on a little bit. Obviously, TNA in 2017 is coming out on... I actually think the whole thing seems very positive. Like, there was a lot of talk about it at the end of last year, which we know about, but now there's new owners, there's new direction. You know, everything feels fresh and exciting, and who knows what the future holds. But how did you find kind of the whole... I don't mean ordeal. That makes it sound terrible. You know what I mean? The situation.
Well, you know, the stuff behind the scenes, it's... If you're a wrestler, you're gonna wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, so my job was always the same: go out into the ring, do my stuff, or cut the promo, do the stuff backstage. I try not to overly concern myself with stuff I can't control. It's you know what I mean. You can't do that. You're gonna stress yourself out. And you're gonna kill yourself. Like, so obviously there was stuff happening, like you said, behind the scenes. But now with the anthem taking over, it's like you said. It started with the new year, and I was honored that for the first Impact of the year, I was able to go out on camera and talk to the fans and the people in the building. Like, this is a new year. It legit is. It's a new year. It's a new era. It's a new beginning for TNA Impact. You know what I mean? Like, this is 2017. I truly believe can be the year and should be the year of Impact Wrestling, because we have so many opportunities coming forward, like ahead of us. It's the only way we can go is up. You know, and at this point, like everybody, obviously the wrestlers have always gone out in the ring before, no doubt about that. There are just some issues, obviously, behind the scenes that, you know, were going on. But at this point, everybody's on the same page. Everybody wants to grow the company. Everybody wants to take it to the next level. And as long as we're doing that, we're all going to be moving forward together. You know, it's such a big thing to have everybody communicating and be on the same page.
Absolutely. And is there anything you would particularly like to see happen? I know a big thing that fans especially talk about is we'd like to see the X Division go back to how it was in what people call the glory days of TNA, when the X Division did feel like a standout feature of the promotion. Is there anything like that you'd like to see?
Well, I mean, for that aspect, I believe it. I don't think it's headed that way with the guys that we have on the roster in the X Division right now. You know, from what DJZ has done as the champion, I feel he's done some amazing stuff. And you have Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, and you have, you know, Pepper Parks. So you have a lot of great guys right now in that division who I think can bring it back to what people want to see, and I think they can deliver that. I would love to see some live events. You know, get back out and interact with the fans, and get up close and personal. I think fans appreciate that. You know, when we come to town, we do some nice meet and greets and stuff. Like, it's a very intimate. I think TNA's great with being very interactive with the fans and being up close and personal. You know what I mean? I think and I hope the fans appreciate that, because we enjoy doing that. So that would be, and hopefully we also get back to the UK very soon. That's one that is truly missed that we didn't get to do this year, because of what was going on behind the scenes, obviously. But now there's rumblings of it happening, so hopefully, you know, things come through and we get back over here, because the shows over here are always a blast behind the scenes, a blast, you know, having fun out in the ring. Like, it was a really good time.
It's because the UK is great.
Well, UK is great. Yeah. I've always said that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You mentioned the live events as well, and obviously, and the UK shows too, because I would imagine the thing for you guys as well is if you can do that, that is just a great way to get the TNA product out there. You're not just relying on TV or social media or the internet. It's actually taking the wrestling to people and saying, hey, look, this is an alternative to maybe something else you're watching.
No, exactly. That's a great point. Like, the live events get to show people who, you know, they might not be watching at home, but you happen to be in the town, they're going to come by and check it out, like you said, and here, this is what we do. And I feel I'm confident in our product. You know, if people show up to the show and they see what's happening, they're going to be into it and they're going to want to follow along. Yeah. As of right now, you know, without the live events, I think a good thing about TNA is a lot of the guys are doing independence. Like, I'm over here, you know, working for Southside and a couple other places. So I think that if we use that as an alternative to help promote, you know what I mean? Like, going to indie shows and help promoting, like, I'm on Impact, you know, like, I think people can see that and follow along that way. We just have to do our job of promoting it the right way.
Yeah. And then, as soon as they leave the arena, they can get their phone out and download the app. See what I did there? Let's talk about you. Because we're only in February here. We've only done like a month and a bit of 2017. And you've already had quite the eventful year. I don't know if we want to bring up the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But you did hold it till recently, which is the main thing. Yeah. And that is quite a thing to say, you know. Brand new year, brand new champion, ups and downs, you know, all that kind of stuff. But how have you felt so far going into this year?
I know, like I said, it was pretty cool to be able to kick off the first show of the year and being the world champion. So that was, you know, something special, and obviously I take pride in when I was the champion, being the champion, and trying to be the main focus of Impact, trying to help take Impact to the next level. You know what I mean? That's the job as the champion, and that's your job. You have to do that. So, yeah, it's been an exciting year. Obviously holding that title, and then unfortunately losing it to Lashley. But I get another shot coming up. And I plan on getting it back, so that's all I can focus on, is just getting it back, you know what I mean? But I think if the year continues for what it's been, it's gonna be a wild one.
Yeah. And honestly, the match you'll have, I would assume, will be a more traditional match, in the sense that a match you did have with Lashley was at Total Nonstop Deletion, where you ran off into the woods, as we all saw. How was that, as a guy that has had, and we'll get to this, obviously you're a very experienced wrestler, you've been all around the world. But then all of a sudden it's like, no, you need to go to Matt Hardy's garden and have a world title match. I mean, how do you even prepare for that?
You don't. You don't. You can't prepare physically. You can't prepare mentally. When they approached me and said that we were going to be able to be a part of it, I was pumped because obviously I'd seen what they've been doing. Everybody was seeing that. It's like the hottest thing going. I was jealous. I wanted to be a part of it. So when they told us that we could be doing something, I was pumped. But I had no idea what to expect. You know what I mean? You see all the other ones, there's fireworks and boats and lakes and so like who knows? I was just went in there, open mind, just ready to go, do whatever they want. You know what I mean? See what they had going on. You show up to the house, there's the barn, there's a volcano, there's the entranceway with Matt's face on it, there's the lake of reincarnation, there's just a dilapidated boat, there's, everything. So it's safe to say when I first started wrestling, training at Killer Kowalski's school, I never thought I would end up wrestling Bobby Lashley on a volcano.
Killer Kowalski never sat you down and said,
right, train me for that.
Yeah, that's bad. He should have let you know when you're on the volcano.
This is how you get the claw on the volcano. I would have been set. Damn it.
But is it more, and I don't want to pull back the curtain too much, it's not what I'm trying to do here, but when you're there, is it more like you're shooting a movie as opposed to a wrestling match?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, because there's, like, the stuff how it comes across on TV, you have no idea, like, what goes on behind the scenes to put that together. It's just so much effort. There's so many guys behind the scene that I want to give props to that, do so much. Like, JB Jeremy Borash does a ton, of producing and editing and stuff. And obviously the ideas from Matt, like how they take it from Matt's mind and turn it into something real, you know what I mean? Jeff, building a volcano on his own, just wanted to build a volcano. Like, it's some awesome stuff, and it's shot a bit differently, but you need to shoot it that way to have it come across on TV that way.
Yeah. Okay, going to where I was going to go before that aside, you mentioned you were trained by Killer Kowalski.
Yes.
Now, it's something I want to bring up because actually it's been documented on our YouTube channel as well. I'm actually training to be a wrestler at the moment, even though I'm way past my sell-by date. I thought, better late than never, right?
Exactly.
But I get a real kick out of talking to people that have made it about their training. So what do you remember of it? Like, how did it help you get to where you are today? Was there ever a time you thought, I can't do this, but you overcame obstacles, hurdles?
I never, at no point did I ever cross my mind to quit, because if you get to that point, I think it's too late for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I went in there I just wanted to be a wrestler and I wanted to be the best. So it was like, at no point was I ever going to stop or ever going to quit. I was going to go to training as much as I could, as often as I could. Yeah. But, training with Killer Kowalski and Slick Wagner Brown was the in-ring trainer at the time. Walter was more so outside, watching and stuff. It just, they took me through the basics and stuff, and it just helped. It was a perfect job of just getting me acclimated to the ring and stuff, and the bumps, and the big thing behind the scenes, like the respect factor, you know what I mean? Like how to act around in locker rooms and stuff, like, which is an underrated thing, but they took pride, like Walter and Wagner took a lot of pride in teaching that, like, this is the proper way, you go about business, this is how you handle business. But, you just have to jump in full 2 feet, just go, you have to go all in. You can't half-ass it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, to other people who are getting into wrestling, I tell them the same thing. You're going to make sacrifices. Like, you're going to miss birthday parties and you're going to miss wedding. Like, you're going to miss some stuff. But in the end, if you give all you can have to wrestling, usually wrestling will give back to you. You know what I mean? And it'll work out that way. But you have to, 120% right away. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
And what was your journey from there? So obviously you train, you get a foundation in it all.
Yeah.
And then, where does your first step on the ladder come?
So, did the training. I also trained up at Steve Bradley's school. He had another school up in New Hampshire. So I did as much training throughout the week as I could. And then I would start traveling to independent shows with Slick Wagner Brown and other indie guys. I would just travel with them. And slowly but surely kind of get on the scene and start working shows here and there, local shows. And then, my first goal was I wanted to get, into Ring of Honor, which was big at the time. So I actually made my way to Japan. I made my way to Japan after doing indies for a few years at this point. I was able to go to Japan and train over there, which helped elevate me in the stateside, as far as how people saw me. So did some stuff in Japan. and made my way into Ring of Honor, and that's, from there things started going up. Yeah. I'd say so. Obviously, the first big step was going to Japan for me.
Yeah, because you obviously pro wrestling now, Ring of Honor, TNA. You had a small stint in WWE as well, but you've not only have you been pretty much successful all around, but you've managed to both be successful within the tag team division with the American Wolves and, going out on your own. What do you have to do to ensure you're successful in both? Because I imagine the art and the skill is very different.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it exactly in words how to do it. Because I feel like myself and Davey are kind of unique in that aspect, where we've both had our singles. Like we're a tag team, but we're also like our own commodity. You know what I mean? Like we can do our own thing at any time. And I think for a lot of tag teams, that's sometimes kind of tough to do because people see you as a tag team and they never see you outside of that. But I think the fact that me and Davey didn't come in together, so we didn't start as a tag team. I trained my way. He trained his way. He did his stuff. I did my stuff. And then we happened to come together as a tag team. You know what I mean? After doing our single stuff. So I think that maybe we started as single guys and, just doing a little bit of everything. It made us comfortable in our own skin. And then we did our tag. And then I think I know for myself, because of the success of our tag, I got more comfortable, in Ring of Honor, especially because, Davey was his own thing at that time. And I kind of joined him and went from there. So it was cool to have a direction, have a character. We're the American Wolves, and then I got comfortable, and then you kind of go from there. And then we did the same thing in Ring of Honor, where we split off. We did some TV title stuff, like we did single stuff for a while. We were able to get back together, split up, do the world title stuff back. You know what I mean? I think that's what helped us as a tag team is just we could split up. And it's not like a turn your back on the other guy. It's just like, all right, you do this, I'm going to do this. And then when needed, all right, here we go back together. So I think that was like a pretty special thing for us that we can do at any time.
Now, you did have a stint in NXT a couple of years ago. Is that something we can talk about? Are you cool to talk about? How was that for you? I mean, obviously, NXT now has become this third WWE brand that tours and does big specials. I mean, I think you was on the cusp of exploding when you were there. I mean, what happened?
So it wasn't, I don't know if I'd say it was a run or anything. We had basically like a tryout run with them, and it just worked out where, it wasn't the right place at the right time for either of us. You know what I mean? They decided to, move on from us, and we decided to find our way to Impact. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things where they gave us a shot. They were very cool with us. Things just, it wasn't the right place there. You know what I mean? So we went on, and things worked out okay.
Yeah. What do you think about how big the NXT has got now? Because I don't think anyone would have predicted that even sort of 2-3 years ago.
No, not at all. It's cool to see just, more places, more guys are getting hired, more guys are getting jobs. You know what I mean? Like that's always a good thing. It's wild that it's come up the way it has, but I couldn't have predicted. I don't think anybody did. You know what I mean? But it's another outlet for fans to watch wrestling. So
it's kind of the same with promotions all over the world as well. Because even here in UK, right now, aside from sort of World of Sport days, this is one of the biggest booms the country has ever seen. And you could tie it into promotions like that coming up, making wrestling more popular, and people going, I want to go out and watch pro wrestling. So I guess for you as a guy that can work for loads of different companies, that's just a dream because it gives you more options to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's great right now. Like you said, especially over here, I've said this numerous times, like wrestling's in a hot period. I think is very hot right now in general. But in the UK, it's top. Not like it's the top right now. Like UK is the best scene there is going. And people just, I think wrestlers and the fans just have to enjoy it for what it is, because chances are it's not going to last forever. You know what I mean? So just take advantage of it being here and, get out and enjoy it and see as much as you can. Go to as many shows as you can. Whether you're a wrestler or a fan, I'd say do the same, because you got to take advantage.
Now, you've obviously done a lot. Like we said, you got Japan, you did Ring of Honor, TNA. You've been pretty much every named promotion you can think of. But what's next? Like, in your future, where do you envision yourself going? What would you like to see yourself doing?
I would like to see, like I said kind of before, I want to be on the forefront of Impact moving forward. I think it's the right time for Impact to take a step to the next level, and I would love to be one of the faces associated with taking that next step, with being on that level. and of course, now that Davey's back healthy, I would love to get our tag titles back. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to focus on both, and I think I would be capable of doing that. Focus on tags, focus on singles. I think it would be a kind of a unique thing to do as well. A little bit of both. If we win the titles, I'll defend that and the world title on both. I would do that.
Has anyone ever held the world? And I don't think it's ever happened, has it?
I was trying to think, and I don't know. Not that I can recall.
It will have happened now. Someone out there is commenting frantically, like,
I'm sorry. I didn't do my research.
But even still, the fact we don't know means it would be a pretty special thing for you to do. I mean.
And I said I would even offer. I would do 2 shows on 2 matches on the show. Like, I mean, people would be sick of me, but still.
I don't know. You can tie that into a pretty interesting story, like true. Fatigue. How can he do it? And you do.
Exactly.
And I'd be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So.
There you go. Just book that. Easy done. Right. My last question is a bit of a weird one, but I like to ask all professional wrestlers that we meet, because I feel like this person has almost become like a science experiment, just the world of wrestling, even though he's one of WWE's biggest stars. Now, the Roman Reigns situation I find fascinating, because there is a clearly talented man that gets utterly ruined by wrestling fans on a week-to-week basis. But as a man who is in the industry, has had a lot of success in the industry, and can look at it from a different point of view, what is your opinion on that situation?
I mean, I think that he's obviously, like you said, very talented. I think that they're trying to see. I don't understand why the fans destroy him, but I don't. Whatever.
Because he's got lovely hair. I'd tell you, that's what it is.
I mean, maybe they're just trying to see. Maybe WWE's trying to see if they can switch the fans or which way they're going to end up going. I don't know. Either way, he's going out. He has a job, and that's the main focus. He has a job. He's going out there, and he's obviously having good matches and stuff. So I don't understand how anybody could hate on him.
No, I just find it intriguing. I find it intriguing. It's so easy to sit there and go, he sucks. But take a step back. It's like, wait a minute. Does he?
I don't get it. Whatever.
Anyway, Eddie Edwards, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All the best with TNA and the new TNA app.
Thank you very much.
Who knows? Maybe one day I will take you on. I won't. I'm never going to get to that point. But in case we do, remember this now. This is where the foundation was built. Thank you so much, man. Thanks a lot.